How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees with your boys, Alex and Ryan. So today I wrote an article at about, it might have been 9 a.m. saying, I think the Yankees should probably bench DJ LeMahieu, and a lot of people are calling for Oswaldo Cabrera to take over at third base. Well, what do you know? 30 minutes later, the Yankees benched DJ LeMahieu, and they replaced him with Oswaldo Cabrera on the hot corner. Sometimes it just be like that. So, talking about DJ, talking about the transition at third base here, look, if the Yankees are benching DJ LeMahieu right now, it is because they know they need support. Now, it is important to note that Oswaldo Cabrera is still below average, and it's unfortunate to say. The problem here is that DJ is 56% below average, and Oswaldo Cabrera is 21% below average. So they both stink offensively, but one of them stinks less than the other. So we kind of can come to the conclusion that the Yankees will likely be making an infield move at the deadline. If they want to win a World Series this year, they can't have either of those two players playing playoff games. That's the unfortunate truth. It's not even unfortunate, it's just reality. And I think you would probably agree with that, Ryan. So, looking at the reasoning behind benching DJ LeMahieu, I'm sure you have plenty to say about this. The ground balls, the worms, the inefficiency, he's 0 for 17 in his last 17 ABs. It's just gotten to a point where it's like he's unplayable. Defensively, fantastic, love him. Offensively, he's killing the bottom half of this order. He's a murderer of baseballs, and not in a good way. More so, he's not doing anything with them at all. But how are you feeling about what he's done so far? Do you still have faith in him to turn things around? Do you think the Yankees need to be all in on finding a replacement?
Yeah, he's a worm killer right now, dude. And I don't mind. I can't ask the Yankees to, in June, make DJ LeMahieu hit. I get that they can't do that, and I'm not blaming them for him not hitting. I'm blaming them for continuing to, kind of emphasize that he has to be the starter. They called up Jordan Vivas, and they didn't play him. I don't... It's one thing to, just tell the media everything's fine, and, I have no problem with that. I think it's kind of pointless, but, that they have to speak to the media, and I get they're not going to tell the media, yeah, everything's awful, we suck, it's terrible. But when you're playing DJ LeMahieu and you had a guy come up who could have replaced him, and you can't say it's not because they trusted Vivas to play third, because Boone publicly told the media, he's like, yeah, I feel comfortable with him playing third. Either Boone lied or, they feel comfortable with him playing third. When you call him up, don't play him, and then send him back down, you know what that tells me? That tells me, that tells me there's no urgency to bench the guy. That tells me that you do think everything is fine with DJ LeMahieu, that you do think it'll turn around, that you do think things will get better. And they're not. They're not going to. I don't mean to be, the eternal pessimist here when it comes to LeMahieu, but, I think I mentioned on here specifically, when a guy drops off, it's not slow. It's not it's like a 2-year, 3-year slow decline. It's usually a sharp one. LeMahieu went from a good hitter in 22 to an average one in 23. Him becoming an awful player is not necessarily surprising. And Alex, they can't keep playing him. You're no one's saying Cabrera's good, but the guy has double his WRC plus, man. A 44 WRC plus, Hicks had a 52 last year with the Yankees. 52.
So bad.
Think about that. 8%. He was 8% better than DJ LeMahieu is right now. Josh Donaldson was 75 WRC plus, so he was 31% better than DJ LeMahieu was. 31% better, Alex. You know what 31% better means? Come on, you know what I mean? I don't mean to dog on the guy, but he really can't hit. This is the kind of shit that got Josh Donaldson cut. This is worse than the shit that got Josh Donaldson cut. Because, look, I don't like making the Hicks comparison. I only use the Hicks comparison to, kind of give you a reference point for how bad it's been. I'm not saying that, Hicks was this unfairly treated player and everyone should treat LeMahieu like Hicks. I understand the context, right? LeMahieu had a solid 2023 season. Hicks was unplayable in 21. He really slumped in 22. I understand that. But in LeMahieu's case, right? This is very similar to Donaldson. Donaldson had a 98 WRC plus in 22. LeMahieu had a 101 in 23. Donaldson had a 75 in 23. LeMahieu had a 44 in 24. So, you're going from a league average hitter who plays great defense at third base to a guy who sucks offensively and plays great defense at third base. It's the same decline. It's just that the Yankees, for some reason, don't want to admit that it's the same shit. It is. It just is. It's worse, honestly. It's a harsher fall off.
No,
and
it's
they've
actually
played
worse.
him more. Yeah, they've played him more. So
at least Josh would have occasionally walk into a home run.
Exactly. Like, he had a 75 WRC plus. I'm not trying to glorify 75 WRC plus. I'm just trying to tell you he was bad, and yet he was nearly twice as good as DJ LeMahieu. 31% is a massive difference. And the Yankees, it's not should they get somebody to make sure LeMahieu doesn't play. It's if they don't get somebody to make sure LeMahieu doesn't play, they're not winning the World Series. I will guarantee you that, Alex. The guy finds ways to hit double plays. He finds ways to have at-bats. He digs out bad at-bats in good situations. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know how much I agree with this sentiment. I mean, the 58.8% ground ball rate. Then, and since we've last spoken about DJ LeMahieu, he had a negative 0.1 launch angle. It's now dropped to 0.8. I don't even know how he's doing this. The trees can't handle it, Ryan. The trees are getting cut down. He's chopping at the thing like a freaking axe. I don't understand what... Look, he doesn't have the power to create contact in line drives out of the infield. He's not elevating the ball enough to create opportunities to move runners over. He's grounding the ball to the infield, and similar to Verdugo has lost all his power recently. I don't really know what has happened. Like, it's unsustainable, and that's objectively true. So if you're the Yankees and you're looking at what you need to do, though the next best option would have been John Birdie. It's Oswaldo Cabrera, who can at least elevate the freaking ball. Like, he stinks too offensively. He's not as good defensively as DJ, but he's competent. Yorbit Vivas should be in the MLB right now. Lefty bat, underrated power, solid contact skills. Like, this is a guy who can actually elevate the baseball, and he can hit some home runs, and he's a lefty. So short right porch, Yankee Stadium makes a lot of sense logically. You know, do you think that the Yankees should call up Yorbit now and give him a couple days before the trade deadline just to see if he can acclimate, just to see if he has a spark? Because if there's anything there, look, like I said, DJ's 0 for his last 17. If Yorbit Vivas goes 1 for his next 17, he's offering better offensive value. Like, that's how sad it's been for DJ. Do you think that now's the time, or do you think that that time has passed? The only thing we can focus on right now is making an upgrade for a proven commodity. Look, if Yorbit comes up, the sample's going to be too small. I don't trust him during the postseason either. So I think the Yankees have to make a move. The problem is there's no one to move for. It's Isaac Paredes or Matt Chapman. Who plays third base? What are the options that spark your mind? They're like, I mean, there's not really many that are at least competent on both sides of the ball. Is it Isaac Paredes, or is it nothing at this point?
They could get a second baseman. They could do that and then slide over somebody to third. I'm not necessarily sure. Like, they could get a supplementary infielder, somebody to just kind of hold them down for a little bit. And I also want to point this out, Alex. The Yankees can't actually call up Vivas because they sent him down. You have to wait 15 days unless there's an injury. And LeMahieu said he's perfectly healthy. So, I'm not, like, you're not going to put out a quote that you're publicly healthy and then get like a Phantom IL stint. That's pretty.
You could just call JD Davis. How about that?
No, I'm just
DFA him at this point.
But you can't. That wouldn't be ground. Like, it wouldn't. That exception only kicks in for injury. It doesn't kick in for like that kind of thing, which sucks. And I get it, but I do get it. Like, it's to make sure players don't get shuffled up and down. And they can, like, actually, like, it would be highly amoral. But I mean, like, how. Like, the Yankees had their chance. Their chance was when they called up Vivas to just kind of let him play a little bit and see what you got. The Yankees blew it. Like, they blew that opportunity. That's being dumb as shit, right? Like, I mean,
just
no
to give
disrespect
DJ
to Brian,
an opportunity.
Yeah, like, no disrespect to Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone, but, like, Aaron Boone, number one, like, he didn't play them all series. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, Aaron Boone needs to answer a couple of questions about shit like that. Like, he does. He should have to answer questions about that. Like, somebody should go, Aaron Boone, why is an awful baseball... Like, I can't ask a reporter to, like, dog on Aaron Boone. That's a little much. But...
Wish we could, though. Why are you playing horrible baseball players? Yes,
right, but, like, you get what I'm saying.
Why are you playing crappy players? Like, why are you playing crappy players? Why are you not giving opportunities to young guys that have earned it?
I need somebody to just tell Aaron Boone, like, dude, DJ LeMahieu, the guy you keep going to bat for, is worse than Josh Donaldson, who your organization cut from an 82-80 team Josh Donaldson wasn't good enough for a team 2 games above 500. 2 games above 500 by season's end. At that point, it was in the middle of August. They were a below 500 team. If he wasn't good enough for that team, is DJ LeMahieu good enough for this team? And the answer is no. I get they're not going to DFA him. I understand that. But you can put him on the bench. You can just have him play a bench
DFA
role.
JD
He does not have to... Right, he doesn't have to start every day. You can get rid of Davis, create more roster flexibility. Davis doesn't do anything on this team. He's
a bench. He's just a placeholder. He also sucks, dude. He can't hit either. Like this, we have more infielders that don't offer any value than I've ever seen on a World Series caliber team. Nobody. Oswaldo Cabrera, he can play a bunch of positions, albeit a horrible offensive player. You know, he's 21% worse than the average, as I mentioned earlier. DJ is horrible. I mean, Volpe's streaky. He's not going anywhere, of course. I think Volpe's fine. I have no problems with him. Ben Rice, he's been at least a spark plug in some respects and been fine at first base defensively. Gleyber Torres, I mean, every day is like life or death with him. Either he's okay or he's horrible and doesn't offer you anything. But like at this point, it just feels like the Yankees are shooting themselves in the foot. The thing is, like, how many times have we seen the same story? You know what I mean? How many times have we gone down this exact path and had this exact conversation, whether it be with Josh Donaldson or DJ LeMahieu or anybody else on this roster who has been incompetent? You know, you could say like Franchi Cordero or Billy McKinney or whoever. It's just, we've had this conversation, Aaron Hicks, a billion times about players that are not performing well, but the Yankees are force-feeding them at bats in hopes that they suddenly just change the course of their season. You know, like, DJ LeMahieu was a good player. He is 36 years old, coming off multiple foot injuries. He has lost a lot of his power. He's lost a lot of his confidence. He's lost a lot of his capabilities. He says he's healthy, but I don't think that he actually is that healthy. I think that he has been diminished. His production has been diminished by physical degradation because of injuries. Maybe he is healthy right now, but the injuries have taken their toll. You know what I mean? They've taken their toll. So, you know, I don't necessarily think that this is a guy who is he's like a spring chicken. You know what I mean? I think he's cooked, man. I think he's old. I think he's gotten multiple injuries to his weight-bearing leg when he's trying to produce power and elevate the ball. He ranks in the bottom barrel in bat speed. And when you can't project what's coming, when you're not getting enough power and your bat is slow as molasses, you're not going to hit. You're not going to provide competent results. So, you know, I just don't think that he is capable of being a World Series piece right now. And I don't know if he ever will be again. You can't DFA him. He's earning too much money. But the Yankees need to understand that if Cashman wastes another year of Aaron Judge in an MVP caliber season, if he wastes another year of Garrett Cole, by the way, has given up 2 earned runs in his last 12 innings. He's looking like his usual self, pitching over 100 innings in the last 100 pitches in the last game. If he wastes another masterclass from Garrett Cole in the playoffs, if he wastes a Juan Soto year, if he wastes some of the freaking talent that we have on this roster, what do we say? Like, what do we do? Yeah, like Cashman may be one of the best GMs ever in sport by like the consensus of MLB executives, but that doesn't mean anything if you haven't won a chip with over $300 million in payroll in 10 consecutive years, or $280 million in payroll. I don't know how much they, you know, over the course of years, it's fluctuated between 280, 250, and $300 million. If you can't make it to a championship with an MVP and the runner-up and a superstar pitcher and a bunch of good talent, you know, who's to blame here, man? Like, they have to go all out at the trade deadline. Otherwise, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. They're wasting more of our time. It pisses me off because we have too much talent to be this volatile sometimes.
I would also want to point out LeMahieu chases more than the major league average and never swings in zone compared to the MLB average. Like, he's an awful swing decision maker. This guy, like, okay, so the average hitter swings at 76.2% of meatballs, what's qualified as meatballs that they get. He swings at 70.5% of them. The average player chases at 28.4% of pitches out of zone. LeMahieu's chasing at 29.5% of them. So not only is the guy not offering at good pitches to hit, he's swinging at bad pitches to hit. He's lost. He's lost up there. There's nothing good here. The quality of contact's bad. The plate discipline's bad. I guess the strikeout to walk rates are good. That's the one good thing he's got going for him. But Alex, everything else is terrible. It's so bad. It's awful. And as you alluded to, like, this is a championship year. This is a year where you're supposed to go out and contend for the World Series. Enough with this guy. Enough with playing this guy. He's a good guy. He's a good dude. He's done a lot of good things with the Yankees. He's had a good career. all that stuff. He is not a good baseball player anymore. The Yankees have to realize he's not a good baseball player anymore. He's terrible. He's bad. It's over. It's over for him. He's bad. And I would love to see like some urgency in terms of like, I'm not saying Aaron Boone should go out and say, "Yep, this guy sucks." Like I don't care to hear that. Actions matter more to me. You know what I mean? Like if LeMahieu's telling the media, "Yeah, we believe in LeMahieu. He's gonna get it going," but the Yankees trade for somebody and he's on the bench, like, dude, keep saying you believe in LeMahieu. I don't care. Like I get what you have to do as a manager, but I don't know. Like Alex, I think we can agree that the problem is not that the words are there; it's that the actions have reflected the words of confidence, and that's really concerning because this guy isn't good. This guy is not good. He's not, and he keeps getting reps. He's played 39 games, dude. He's gonna play his 40th game probably on Monday. He's awful. Like we've had 40. Like this isn't like bad. This is awful. This is atrocious. Like Glaber was bad. Donaldson was bad. Hicks was bad. Like this is atrocious. This is a level of atrocious I don't think we've seen a ball player in a while. I'm gonna search it up, but like I don't know the last time a Yankee has played this many games while being this bad of a hitter, like in a while, man. Like I'm gonna look it up. I will. In my lifetime, so since 2004, the worst player with at least 140 plate appearances offensively. LeMahieu's the third worst player we've given 140 or more plate appearances to. One of them was Ramiro Pena, who like literally was just a defensive sub, and the other guy is Steven Drew in 2014. We didn't make the playoffs in 2014, Alex. We didn't. So this guy's uniquely awful. This guy's a different level of ass, Alex, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now I think that we can all agree that the Yankees need infield support. I don't know what they're going to do with Glaber, but like this team needs an above average bat. They could go out and get a second baseman, but then you're just surviving at third base, right? You're basically just saying like, all right, we're just going to have good defense there and guys that are really major liabilities, at the bottom half of our batting order. And listen, I don't think every batting order is great, but the Yankees at least know one that can get it out of the infield. You know what I mean? Like DJ can't get it. Like we're talking about a near 60% ground ball rate, guys. 60%. The other 40%, right? Because most ground balls are not getting out of the infield. The most ground balls are probably going to be outs on average. So the other 40% is either a pop out, a foul out, and I mean these are all contact, or it's a hit to the outfield or a home run. He hasn't any home runs this year. He has 4 extra base hits. His slugging rate's like 202, something like that. There's just nothing there. There's 40% of nothingness. Nothing. It's look. You mentioned the strikeout rates are the percentiles are low. The walk rate percentiles are fine. But it doesn't matter, man. His ability to make quality contact has diminished to a degree that is unsustainable. And Oswaldo Cabrera starting at third base in a playoff game, let alone a World Series, you're not going to win that way. You're not going to win that way. You know what I mean? When this team can't trust their pitching right now, Nestor Cortes coming out saying, we're the Yankees, like, and I love Nestor Cortes, don't get me wrong, but if you're going to come out and you're going to say something like what he said, like, well, of course, everyone got all this negative attention, you can't come out and give up 5 earned runs in 4 innings, dude. You can't do it. You can't come out and boast and protrude confidence and then absolutely deliver a shitter. You can't do it.
I want to put this out here. Like, look, I'm not trying to call this team soft. I don't know the character of this team. I am not in the clubhouse. I've never interacted with one of these players. I've never been involved in what the 2024 dynamic looks like. We are outsiders making kind of picking and choosing based on what we see at the on field and kind of, trying to guess and give us our opinion, what the feeling is. That's soft as shit. That's soft as chicken shit, right? That's soft. That's the softest shit I've ever seen. You've got to pitch better. You're fucking walking Taylor Walls. I know Alex Jackson ended up yarding him, but walking Alex Jackson, like, dude, you've got to pitch better than that, man. It's got to be better than that. Effort on the field has to be better than that. You got to lock in for that start. You got to pitch your tail off in that start. This team's won 1 game after a win in the last month. You've got to be better than that, Nestor. I mean, nobody wishes they're a Yankee right now. Nobody wishes that. Don't tell me everything's fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. I don't want to, show me you're fine. I'm not mad when Boone says it. I'm not mad when Nestor says it.
He has to say it.
Right, like they're not, I get that they have to say it. I understand that context. But when you're just saying it and you're not proving it on the field, it's just empty calories, man. You're just yapping. Throw strikes to these guys. Like, I mean, this is Alex. How many times it felt like this team is folded in like these kind of situations? They shit talk a team, and they get their ass beat. They get slapped. They get embarrassed. You know, the whole thing with Brandon Hyde. Yeah, they won the series and they blew a big fucking lead. And then the Orioles come out of the gate and they're destroying the Rangers right now. The Yankees, they're not facing a great team in Tampa Bay, and they can't crush them. They can't put them away. They can't beat these guys. It's squeaking out wins. It's a 2-1 win. It's this and that. You should be stomping these guys, man. Crush these dudes. Come on. Play a competitive game. Furthermore, you know, looking at, let's say, the Red Sox, right? When the whole boombox thing with Judge, what happens? The Red Sox go on, beat us 18-1, and then beat us in the series, go on to win the World Series. Astros, doesn't matter how many times we threw shots at them, they beat the shit out of us in the postseason. I'm trying to think of the Met. Remember that Lindor thing? Like, Stanton hits the home run and then he starts, like, he's running on bases and he says something to Lindor. Then Lindor games them with his third home run of the game. That was a below 500 Mets team that didn't make the playoffs, by the way. I just want to clarify. Severino threw a shot about the Yankee offense. They get shut out 2 days after. They almost shut out 2 days after that happens. And Sevy throws 6 scoreless innings against the Marlins. But you know what I mean? Like, he didn't get shelled after talking shit. The Yankees can't talk shit and win after. I think that's a reflection of there's something can't be right. You know what I mean? It keeps happening. It happens without fail. When is the last time the Yankees have talked shit and it's resulted well for the Yankees? I get resulting well is only going to really sit if you win the championship. But I mean, like, beat Boston in a series. Beat, like, Nestor last year. Oh my God, when he said the whole, it's not really a rivalry thing about the Yankees-Red Sox. What is the Yankees' record against the Red Sox since then? I think we're well below 500 against them since then. Nestor, shut the fuck up. Either talk and pitch well or don't talk. Like, this team will throw out quotes that get immediately eaten up by the media, and in a bad way. And then they play like crap after. You know what I mean? Like, it can't keep happening. These guys got to sack the fuck up. I don't care how proud you say you are to be a Yankee. Show it. It's an embarrassment. 9-1 yesterday. It wasn't a competitive game. 6 runs. It wasn't a competitive start. Bullpen, I get it. Bullpen came in and gave up 3 runs after. Offense didn't do anything. It was a non-competitive baseball game. They did not compete against the Tampa Bay Rays. It was an awful baseball game. They didn't show up and give their best effort in Boston. They didn't show up and give their best effort in that 9th inning against Baltimore. Chance to sweep. Take the division, be in first place, ride high, carry that into the All-Star break. It's those little things, Alex, that they don't do well. And they got to turn over a lot of this roster. I don't want a guy we think we can get more power out of, a starter we think we can improve. No, you need stars, dude. I don't want the Alex Verdugo guy that you think you can make him hit more home runs here. I know we got to talk fans into it all the time. I don't want to do that this deadline, Alex. When we got Juan Soto, was there any doubt in your mind that shit was going to work? We both knew, Alex. We said this. We don't want to cope about not getting Juan Soto. We want to know we got Juan Soto because he's a superstar, and we know he's better. Cody Bellinger, he's a mediocre baseball player this year. Imagine we signed him. We settled there. I couldn't imagine what this team would look like. I want a star. I want a big-time bat. I want a bat that does damage. Yeah, I want Isak Paredes. Well, would you going to trade Spencer Jones? Yes, I will trade Spencer Jones for Isak Paredes. I need a stud. I need my 3 or 4 hitter. I need my guy who's going to drive in a ton of runs, going to hit the crap out of the baseball. I don't want this station-to-station offense crap. You're slow. You're a slow team. You can't run. When I watch the Yankees run, I want to peel my eyes out. I don't want to see you guys trying to go first to third. It's not going to work. You guys can't do that. I want the ball in the seats. When I see Taj Bradley pitch, and he's a great pitcher, I want him to come to the Bronx. You're like, damn, if I make a mistake, seats.
You get punished.
Exactly. That's what the Orioles do so well.
Yeah, they punish people.
Even when they slump, they hit. You know why? Or they put up runs. Because they hit the
They're
long
consistent.
ball.
They're also
Right.
consistent in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
In specific categories, they're consistent. The Yankees are inconsistent in basically every category, right? Batting averages plummeting. Home runs, not hitting enough. Stealing bases, not happening at all.
One
Pitching,
game they'll score 6
inconsistent.
runs. The next game they'll score 1. Like it's inconsistent. You know why it's
man.
inconsistent? It's because they rely on that bat bit. They rely on like they need their guys to string a couple hits. They need some bad defense to go their way. No, you need to put the ball in the seats. Like Verdugo, dude. If I hit like, does he not want to make the adjustment to just get the ball out to right field? Right field is 314 feet away. 314 feet away. You can't try to pull the ball in the air? You can't try it? Just make that the emphasis. Please, get the ball out in the air. Because it feels like the guy... the at-bats are uninspiring. And he jogs to first base after grounding out. Like, he'll hit a chopper. You see him jog. And it's like, dude, I can't watch him play anymore, man, offensively.
The only guy... You want to know what happens when you're consistent? You're Juan Soto or Aaron Judge. Juan Soto, only guy that scored a run yesterday. Before that, 3 runs on 4 hits on Friday. We're talking about consistency. We're not talking about ebbs and flows of great month, bad month, great month, bad month, great. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be just good months. Good months. You can have a down month every now and again, but it can't be every single month the chart looks like a freaking heart monitor. You know what I mean? You're dead, you're alive. You're dead, you're alive. It's got to be consistent. And I think that's kind of where the Yankees fall off is, and the one of the most important things that you did say that I wholeheartedly agree with is the lack of urgency, right? If you're not going to go and win a game right before the All-Star break to secure a series sweep over the Orioles, get yourself into first place in this division, you're not going to make a play when it happens. There is nobody on this planet that's going to convince me that this team is going to be able to win a World Series without doing the little things right, without having some urgency and having some just confidence in key critical moments. This Yankee team falls apart in the most important situations, in the most important moments. Sorry, my cat's tail is in the way. This is a situation where, like, if you are the Yankees, you have to find a player that is going to be able to uplift. Like, Juan Soto and Aaron Judge are only 2 guys in a 9-person lineup, right? Like, you have to have another guy here that you can trust to make a moment happen when you need it. And the problem is the bottom half of this order. I mean, Verdugo's an automatic out right now. Glaber's mostly an automatic out right now. Anthony Volpe's been okay the last couple days. Last couple games, even going into the All-Star break, he's starting to, like, show signs of life again. DJ LeMahieu's an automatic out. Oswaldo Cabrera's basically an automatic out. We dearly miss Giancarlo Stanton because the guy can hit home runs. If you have a top 4 of Isak, Juan Soto, Judge, and Stanton, you can win games with just those 4 guys. Like, those 4 guys, but you can't do it with just 2. You can't win games with just 2 players because you can pitch around 2 players. You can't pitch around 4 players, right? Severino said it. You mentioned the other day. He said, all we have to do is walk those 2 guys and the rest of your offense is going to be garbage. Nobody else can hit. That's what he said about the Yankees literally 2 days ago. Nobody else can hit. There's only 2 guys on that team I have to worry about. I'll walk both of them. Doesn't matter to me. I'll let the other guys beat me, right? That's what teams are doing. They're just put Soto on base. They're not going to steal any bases, right? They're not going to steal a bag. Judge up behind him, walk him. Verdugo at cleanup, double play. DJ LeMahieu batting ninth. Oh, they're screwed going to the top of their order too. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like,
when I see LeMahieu come up and he
joke.
strikes out with bases loaded with 1 out, I'm like, oh, at least he didn't hit into a double play. Like, I'm at the point where it's like, sure, at least he didn't hit into a double play. Like, that's where we're at. Where if LeMahieu only records 1 out in an inning where there are runners on and less than 2 outs, like, you feel like you let out a sigh of relief. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I mean, how many slow contact hitters that aren't good do they have? Like, the worst profile possible, honestly. Slow and they need the ball in play to do anything. Or I get it. They need the ball in play in any situation, but they need, like, batted ball luck to have things happen for them. Verdugo, LeMahieu, that's 2 guys right there. Trevino doesn't really fit that profile. I feel like it's a different mold, and like those 2 guys having Verdugo and LeMahieu in their own, it's pretty rough. They had Rizzo in there for a bit. He was kind of that kind of player for a little. Like they need to have an identity offensively. They need it. They need an identity offensively, and it felt like it was hit a bunch of home runs and put up a bunch of runs before, and now it's please save me, Aaron Judge. Please save me, Juan Soto. Please, like that's it's a terrible brand of baseball. It really is.
It is, and that's the brand that the Yankees are playing right now. They need a big bat. I mean, if Cashman's not naive. He sees it. He knows it. He knows this team needs help. He knows this infield desperately needs another above-average bat. He knows that he needs another, a true and tried leadoff man. Isaac Paredes would be the ideal situation, but, they're going to want a lot. We'll see what the Yankees are willing to offer. Look, a lineup that looks like this, Paredes, Soto, Judge, Stanton, stick Ben Rice 5, I don't care. Put Austin Wells at 6, or Anthony Volpe at 6, Austin Wells at 7. 8 can be Verdugo, and then, third base, or rather, you have Glaber at 8 or 9. I don't care. You could live with that. You can live with that. That group is going to hit home runs. That group is going to get on base at least to a large degree, and that group has some damage contact hitters in the top 4. And you could argue the top 5 because I think Ben Rice kind of slots into that mix at the moment. So there's a world where this team finds a way out. There's a world where this team can have competency at least at the top half of the order, and that's all they need. But right now, they're playing with fire, man. They're sitting in a scorching hot house, and they don't have any freaking water hoses, man. That water is turned off. They need support. They need the reinforcements. And look, I think we're praying for John Birdie to come back at some point, but he's not the one that's going to change the course of this franchise right now. Clark Schmidt, would love to have him back. Cody Poteet, love to have him back. Ian Hamilton, Scott Efros, Lou Trevino. Eventually, we'll get those guys, and they'll be really good for the pitching. This team needs offense. Before anything else, offense. They're pitching Garrett Cole. I trust him, I like Clark Schmidt. I liked what I was seeing from him before. Stroman could put together some good performances. I just think that right now, first and foremost, we need another big bat, and hopefully it's a guy that can play and hit from the leadoff spot at a very high level. But guys, 31 minutes talking about DJ LeMahieu is not something I imagined doing. We managed to make that a reality. Really just ranting about this team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you have any thoughts, always happy to have a good conversation down below in the YouTube comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. We'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.
Perfect.